competition in teaching and learning organized by Department of Computer Science and Engineering and IEEE Student Branch SMC. I am Madhurya, Assistant Professor from the Department of CSC. It's my privilege to introduce today's distinguished resource person, Dr. Vibha Tiwari ma'am, a true pioneer in the fields of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and digital communication. Ma'am is an accomplished academician and researcher with a strong academic background with an experience of over 23 years in counseling and teaching undergraduate and postgraduate students. Ma'am is currently serving as an assistant professor at the Center for Artificial Intelligence, Madhav Institute of Technology and Sciences, Gwalior, India. She holds a PhD in signal processing from Maulana Azad National Institute of Technology and has extensive experience as a professor in electronics and communication engineering. Ma'am has an authored numerous research papers and book chapters, holds several patents, and has been recognized with awards like Young Scientist Award by the Council of Science and Technology. Her expertise includes artificial intelligence, machine learning, and digital communication. Ma'am is skilled in programming languages such as Python and MATLAB. She is also affiliated with professional bodies like IEEE and IST. Her extensive expertise in artificial intelligence, machine learning, and digital communication makes her an ideal speaker for today's professional development program. Ma'am, we are truly delighted to have you with us today. Welcome to the session, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am, for the introduction. Thank you very much. And I
Thank you,
would like
ma'am.
to thank organizers also for inviting me for this session. So let us start with whatever is being scheduled for today. Is my presentation visible?
Yes, ma'am,
Yes,
it is
ma'am.
visible.
Yeah. Okay. Basically, I'll start. A very good evening to one and all present over here. And the topic of my presentation for today is the art of prompt engineering, that is transforming teaching with artificial intelligence. We all are knowing that how artificial intelligence is changing each and every part of our life, and we can take advantage of that and can utilize this for helping us in our and making some of our teaching work simpler, right? So for this, we are going to see how we can use various artificial intelligence models so that they'll be able to help us in doing all our, let us say, what are the works that we are to do. Like we may have to do the lesson planning, we have to prepare the quizzes. Bloom's taxonomy is headache for everyone nowadays. So we can use artificial intelligence, different models for that. So in this presentation, we'll look into it, that how we can utilize it. So before starting anything, let us start with a very basic definition of prompt engineering. So the prompt engineering is nothing but the process of designing and adjusting inputs to guide artificial intelligence models in generating accurate and relevant responses. So this is how we are going to use various artificial intelligence tools that are available, whether we are talking about the Claude AI, whether we are talking about the Gemini or ChatGPT. But if we learn how to give them the clear-cut instructions, then we'll be able to get the maximum output from them. It is the same like that if we are planning to travel to some city and we are contacting the travel agent, right? So whenever we are talking to travel agent, if we'll say that I want to go there and book the ticket, so he'll not be able to get the clear assessment of what exactly is a requirement. Instead of that, if we will tell that I want to go for 3 days to this city, this class of hotel is to be booked, these are the places that I want to go. If all these information I am going to provide to my travel agent, then he'll be able to plan the travel according to that. So same is the case with the prompt engineering. If we are using the prompt engineering for helping us in our teaching as a teaching tool, so we have to give the clear-cut instructions to various AI models, and this is how we can use the prompt engineering for our teaching purpose. So this is the process of designing and adjusting the inputs to guide the AI model for generating the accurate and relevant response. And this is the key. We want the accurate response and the response should be relevant also. Right? So if we'll start with what exactly is prompt engineering, I can classify it into 5 parts. First one is zero shot, second one is one shot, few shot, chain of thought, and in context learning. Each type of prompt is having its advantage as well as some shortcomings. So let us start with the first one, that is zero shot prompting. So if we are talking about the zero shot prompting, it will involve asking the model to perform a task without providing any specific example or additional context in the prompt. So whatever we want to do, we will be giving one instruction to our AI model, whether it is ChatGPT, Gemini, or the newer one, that is DeepSeek, whatever we are using. If we are giving only a single command for our model to generate the response, then that type of prompting is zero shot prompting. Many of us are using this type of prompting only, right? So here what will happen, the model will rely entirely on the pre-existing knowledge to infer the task and deliver a response. So since here we are not going to provide any information to a model, so model will do whatever is the pre-existing knowledge available with the model. It will infer the task according to that, and it will be generating the response, right? So this type, as we know that this is the simplest form of prompting and anyone can use this. And this will work well when the task is straightforward or widely covered during the training. So let us take an example for zero shot prompting. Here the prompt that I'm going to give to my model is write a poem about the beauty of the ocean. Here I'm not going to give any context, any prior information to the model. Simply I have given one single prompt, that is, it has to write a poem on the beauty of the ocean, right? So model will be generating some response like this. Here you can see that it is covering the beauty of the ocean. There is a one poem like this, right? So this type of prompting will be calling as the zero shot prompting. If I take the example in case of education, so here I have taken one more example to explain what exactly is the zero shot prompting. So I am giving the prompt that explain the water cycle to a 10-year-old in simple terms. This is very simple prompt, but in this prompt also I have given some information that the information that I want from the AI model is suitable for a 10-year-old kid, right? And it has to explain the water cycle. So here you can see that in the response, whatever is being generated by the artificial intelligence model, it has explained what exactly is the water cycle, how it is being created and something like that. All this information is being generated by my AI model. And it has given the example, or it has explained the water cycle that will be suitable for a kid of 10-year-old, right? So we have not given any other information except for the given prompt, and AI model has generated this much of response. So if we see that why this will work, so here we have not given any prior example or training to our AI model, but the AI understands the context and generates the appropriate response instantly. This demonstrates how AI can assist teachers by simplifying complex topics on demand. So this was the example of zero shot prompting. The next model that we can consider over here, next type of prompting that we can consider is one-shot prompting. And as the name is clear here, that instead of giving the prompt directly, we'll be giving some example to our AI model, and based on that, it will infer what exactly is a requirement, and based on that, it will be generating the response. So one-shot prompting provides a model with a single example of the desired task format to guide its response. So here what we are going to do, we will be giving one example so that my model will understand what exactly is the requirement from it and will be generating response according to that. So this technique is helpful when the task format might not be obvious or when a specific response style is required. So if you want some specific type of response, then in that case, it is always advisable to give some examples so that the model will understand what exactly is your requirement, and according to that, it will be generating the response. So here in this example, given the example that convert 10 degrees centigrade to Fahrenheit, and the task, the thing that I want AI model to do is to convert 25 degrees centigrade to Fahrenheit, and model will be generating a response like this. So this is the example of one-shot prompting, and with this example that we can use in our teaching, probably the one-shot prompting would be more clear to you. So one-shot prompting can assist teachers in crafting relatable explanations, and it will be helpful in generating the structured lessons, and it will be helpful in simplifying difficult topics for students, right? So the prompt that I am going to give here to my AI model is, first of all, what I'll do, I'll give one example. So I am going to give the analogy for photosynthesis, right? So this is the information that I have provided to my model, like plants are like solar panels, they capture sunlight and convert it into energy. And now I'm asking my AI model to explain the concept of cellular respiration. So what my AI model will do, from the given example, it will try to understand that what is the level of explanation is being required by me, right? So like in previous example, I have in zero-shot prompting, I have already given that it is to be explainable to a 10-year-old kid. Similarly here, instead of giving the age group or something like that, I have given one example that this type of response is required, and my model will be generating the response according to that. So this is the response that I'm going to get from my AI model, right? So it has taken that what is the standard of, let us assume, what will be the standard of my audience, and according to that, it will be generating the response. So if I see why it works, it will provide a reference example for the AI to follow, and with the help of the reference model, it will be able to generate the response. It will help to generate structured, context-aware responses, and this is useful for teaching in complex topics through analogy-based learning. So whenever you want to apply the analogy-based, so simply you will give some analogy to your AI model and can ask to generate the, you can give the task and it will be generating the response utilizing the same analogy, right? We have seen zero shot and one shot. Another type of prompting that is being available to us is few shot prompting. So as the name is clear here, instead of giving a single example, what we are going to do, we will be providing multiple examples to our AI model. So typically we'll give 2 to 5 examples so that my model will be able to understand the task and the desired output format. So this type of approach is particularly effective for complex tasks or tasks where the model will need additional context to generate the accurate responses. And whatever are the examples that I am going to give here, by observing those multiple examples, the model will identify the pattern, and after identifying the pattern, it will be generating the response that is consistent with the provided example. So if I take the example over here, I am giving 2 or 3 examples to my AI model. First is classify the sentiment of I love this movie as positive. Second one is classify the sentiment of this product is terrible as negative. And third example that I'm going to give here is classify the sentiment of the food was amazing and delicious as positive. So by understanding the sentiment of whatever I am going to give over here, then I'll give the task that it has to classify the sentiment of I will never buy from this store again. Now model will use all these 3 examples that are being given over here and will try to understand what exactly is the requirement And from this, it will understand that the sentiment of the statement given here in the task is negative. So here in few shot prompting, what we have done, we have given multiple examples to the model so that it will be helpful for the model to understand what exactly is the requirement or what type of output is required. So this is third one. Few shot prompting can be used for enhancing the AI responses with multiple examples, and it will be helping educators to train AI to generate better explanation, improve reasoning, and also to create structured lesson plans for the student. So here again, I have given another example that may be useful for the educators. Like the prompt that I have given here is, first example that I have given is create a multiple choice question on Newton's first law. Second example that I have given here is MCQ on Pythagoras theorem. And after giving these two examples, I have given the task that create a MCQ on photosynthesis, right? So what my model will do, first of all, by looking into these two examples, again, as the previous types of prompts were also doing, try to assess the level of the students to whom this MCQ is, who are appearing in this MCQ test, right? Based on that, it will be creating the multiple choice question as per requirement. Then the second thing, it will try to understand that what is the format of this MCQ. And it will also try to understand that answer is also required, right? So you have given 2-3 examples like these type of questions, these type of answers, this is the label, this type of response is required. Everything is being provided to the model using the different examples, and then the task is being given to the model, and it will be generating the response that is in alignment with whatever are the examples that are being given to this AI model, right? So this is how few shot prompting is used. The next type of prompting that we are having is chain of thought prompting. Basically, this type of prompting, as you can see that this is more useful for a student as compared to teacher. As a teacher also, you can utilize it so as to guide your student how to come to the solution of any problem by applying chain of thought, right? So what we are going to give here, if we are talking about the chain of thought prompting, it encourages the model to reason. The important thing here is step by step, right? That means providing intermediate reasoning steps that lead to the final answer. So this type of technique is especially useful for the tasks that involve complex problem solving, logical reasoning, or multi-step computations. And here what my model is going to do, it will explicitly break down the reasoning process or chain of thought, helps the model's accuracy and transparency. So whatever is the COT, it will be clear from this prompt. So let us say I am giving a prompt to my model that if a train travels 50 km per hour for 2 hours and then 30 kilometers per hour for 1 hour, how far does it travel in total? Right? If directly I give this prompt to my ChatGPT model or any AI model, it is going to give me the simple answer that the total distance traveled is 130 kilometers. This is what we are going to get if we are trying for the zero shot response. But if we want the chain of thought or step by step, what are the steps that are being utilized for coming up to this result? In that case, we have to go for the chain of thought prompting. So what will happen over here in chain of thought, the model will be solving the entire question step by step. That means in step 1, the train travels this much of distance, something like that. In step 2, this much, and the final answer is 130 kilometer, right? So in zero shot, it was giving the correct answer in a single shot. Whereas in chain of thought response, it is going to give me the result in stepwise, how it has arrived to this result, right? Now, how to tell my model that I don't want a zero shot response. Instead of that, I have to inform my model that this should be a COT response. So what I have to do, I have to create my prompt according to that. And if I'm saying my prompt according to that, that means I'll be giving the same question to the model, but instead of writing this much portion, I'll add up one more line, that is give the step by step before answering. And what my model do, my model is going to give me the response like this, right? So if your students are adopting the chain of thought, so they'll be able to understand each topic more precisely or accurately, because they'll come to know that how that answer is being achieved. So this one is chain of thought prompting, and the last one is in context learning. So if I'm saying in context learning, so it will allow the model to adopt and perform the task based on the information, examples or instructions included in the prompt itself. So whatever is the prompt, in that prompt only, whatever is the information, example, instruction, whatever are being included, model will try to understand it from there only and will try to give you the answer. So this technique doesn't involve retaining the model, but instead leverages the context provided to tailor the response. The effectiveness of in-context learning improves with the size and sophistication of the model, right? So the example here is, I will give the example of word association. Yeah. Okay. So the example prompt is, I will give examples of word associations based on the pattern, provide the correct answers for the last one. And some examples are given over here. And the question is being asked is, car, and model's response will be vehicle, right? So here we are not going to give any examples. Instead of that, inside the prompt only, the information, example, instructions, everything is included, and model will be extracting the information from that only. Now, many a times, one confusion may arise that what is the difference between in-context learning or few-shot prompting? Because sometimes both of them appears to be same. So the answer here is, if I'm taking one example, that the prompt that I'm going to give my system, classifying the following insurance claims into categories based on these examples. And examples that I am giving over here is, my car was stolen. So the insurance category is auto theft. My house caught fire. The insurance category is fire damage. I need medical expenses covered after a bike accident. Insurance category is health insurance. Now I am going to give, I want my model to classify this claim, that is, my store was flooded and all inventory is damaged. So after understanding all these examples, my model is going to give me the answer that the insurance category is business property damage, that is flood, right? So this is how we are using the few-shot prompting. But instead of that, if I want to utilize the in-context learning for the same problem, what will be the prompt that I am going to give? Classifying the following insurance claims into categories. And here you can see that I have not given the insurance categories over here, right? So my car was stolen, my house caught fire, I need medical expenses, all these already I have given, but I have not given the classification of the different insurance categories that I have given in my few-shot prompting. So model will try to understand from this, and here also it is going to give you the same answer, that business property damage flood. So this is the difference between the two. In context learning, we don't have to provide the separate example, or you can see that in terms of machine learning or artificial intelligence, that no labels are to be provided over here, whereas in few-shot prompting, we have to provide the label, right? So these are all the 5 categories of prompting that we can utilize. Now, this is all about the prompting. Now let us see how, being an educator, we can use the prompt frameworks for helping us in simplifying our task. So for this, I'll suggest this 4S model. And this 4S models means, first of all, set the scene. Second one is be specific. Third one is simplify language. And fourth one is structure the output. So let us see one by one how exactly we are going to do that. So first of all, we'll start with the first framework that is covering our first test, that is set the scene. So here, what is being expected from the AI model, that is to be told to the model beforehand. That means you have to define the role, expertise, and context of the AI chatbot to shape its responses effectively. So clearly, you have to define what it has to assume itself so as to generate the response. The example that over here, that before giving any prompt, you will tell your AI model that, let us take an example that here, what I have included over here is, you are a highly skilled STEM educator and curriculum designer. So first of all, whenever you are giving this type of command to your artificial intelligence model before writing your prompt, right? So you will be defining the role, that how your model should think like. Now, whatever is the prompt that you are going to give, the model will be thinking like it is a highly skilled STEM educator. How a highly skilled STEM educator will think, and then it will be generating a response according to that. So it is always advisable, and believe me, you are going to get very good result if you are initially only you'll be setting the scene, right? Now the second one is be specific. If I'm saying be specific means you have to provide clear and detailed instructions. You have to specify the task and outline key elements you want to be included. If you provide this clear and detailed instructions to your AI model, definitely you are going to get the response as per your requirement, right? So example is, you will say that apply the 5E model to design a 60-minute interactive lesson. Here 5E means inquiry-based learning. That means engage, explore, explain, elaborate, and evaluate, right? So it will provide this example. Initially, you have set the scene. You have told your model that it has to assume itself like a highly skilled educator. And then the second instruction that you have given it to you, that the clear and detailed instructions you have provided, then you are going to get a better response as compared to the previous one. Third one is your language should be very simple. Use a clear and conversational tone with simple language, avoiding unnecessary jargons. You have to talk to your chatbot or AI model as if it is if you are talking to your friend. And whatever is the conversational tone, the simple language that you are using, it would be easier for the model to understand your requirement, right? So simply, like if I want a lesson plan, simply I'll write the create and engaging lesson plan aligned with the National Education Policy in 2020, and model will understand what exactly is the requirement. Now you have set the scene, you are specific, you have given the clear cut instruction, and the last one is you should tell your model what type of output you require in which format. So structure the output, guide the chatbot on structuring the output by specifying the format, what are your audience, and what are the key sections that you require. So for example, create an assessment rubric for my student. formatted as a table with grading criteria based on NCERT learning outcomes. So here you can see that initially you have set the scene that you have told the model that it is an highly skilled STEM educator. Then you have instructed it to apply the 5E model. Then you have asked to create an engaging lesson plan or creating an assessment rubric. And here you have informed the model about your audience, the format that you require. That means here, if you want the output in the form of a table and also grading criteria, each and everything you have specified over here, and your model is going to give response according to that, right? So if being an educator, if we are here to learn how to prompt effectively, so we can give prompt like anything. Like here, one example that I have given over here is create a lecture outline on the fundamentals of machine learning for UG students. If you look into this prompt at the first sight, you'll see, okay, we are giving an instruction to a AI model to create a lecture outline on fundamentals of machine learning. And here we have specified the audience also. So at first sight, it will look that, yes, this prompt is good. My model is going to give me the lecture outlines. Subject also have specified over here. Audience also have specified. So it is going to give me a good response. But in terms of prompting, this type of prompting appears to be okay. So what is the better version of this? So if I say the better version is, first of all, you have specified to your model that it has to act as an expert data scientist or a university professor. Then you have defined what are the skills that are there in that professor, and then you are giving the prompt that design lecture outline on the fundamentals of machine learning. Here you have specified the audience also, and whatever are your requirements you have given to your model. So this one, as compared to this one, is better version, and you are going to get a better response from your AI model as compared to this one, right? But if we want to improve this more, we can create best, I should not say, but better than this also. So what is the additional thing that you can do? You have specified the role of the model that it has to, that it is an expert data scientist or a university professor. It is specializing in active learning methodologies. It has to design an engaging lecture outline on the fundamentals of ML for UG student, that is the target audience. They are majoring in computer science. Here you have not defined the branch of the students. ML can be for anyone, but here you have defined that they are computer science students, right? Then some other things that you have informed to your model, so that what here you are defining the outputs also, the structure of the output that you are requiring from the model. So the lecture should incorporate real world case studies, coding exercise, and peer discussions, right? Then format your response in a structured syllabus style outline. So if you look into this one is best as compared to this. So now initially I was not doing anything, so I may be using this type of prompting technique for creating the outline of my lecture. But I may go to this, or I may go to this based on the information that is available to me, based on the information that I want to give to my AI model so as to give me the response. So if the prompting technique is known to me, I'll be able to get a better response from my AI model. So this is the technique, being an educator, we all have to learn, that is effective prompting, right? So you can see here that this one is less effective as compared to this one, which I'm saying that best, this will be more effective. So whatever is the prompting technique that you are taking, you can take any format, and your AI model is going to give you the response, but you have to learn the better or best prompting technique so as to get the answers as per your choice. That means in prompting, it will apply some time. Then you don't have to format the response from the AI model according to your need. Like initially, what I was doing, I was giving some prompt to my ChatGPT. Let us say ChatGPT. I was giving some prompt to my ChatGPT model. It was giving response, and I was spending too much of time in refining it according to my requirement. Instead of that, if I'll give the better prompt to my model, I may get the response as per my choice, and I don't have to refine it further, right? So this is the effective prompting that you can use. So we have learned what exactly are prompt, how the prompts can be used by the educators, but educators can also make mistakes. So here we'll see what are the top 5 mistakes that educators will make with artificial intelligence. Among them, the first one is using generative AI like a search engine. Many a times we are typing whatever is coming to our mind, whatever we are trying to search, we may go to our AI tool, so as to get the answer as we are doing with the search engine. But we have to remember here that it is not a search engine. It can give us a better response than that, right? The second thing is stopping after one prompt, and this should be avoided. Basically, Gen AI outputs may sometimes be too broad, lack context, or miss key details. So, what we can do, we should not stop after one prompt. We will provide the feedback to our model, refine the prompts, and so that we are going to achieve the better results. So we should not stop after one prompt. We have to prompt again and again so as to get the better result. Third one is that lot of us are doing, many students are doing that, is not checking for hallucinations or bias. Basically, generative AI tools are not thinking that they are computing, predicting, and they will often make mistakes. Many a times we are getting wrong answers. So if you are getting some responses from Gen AI models, then you should uh, always check whether they have given the correct response or not, because they can also make mistake. So it is imperative to check for inaccuracies before presenting that data to your students, right? These accuracies that we are calling as hallucinations and biases when prompting. So we have to check for the hallucinations and biases before presenting that result anywhere, whether we are using, many of times we are using it for writing a research paper also, and sometimes we may ask for the references, and Gen AI models may be giving you the wrong references. So before presenting your data anywhere, you have to check for the accuracies, right? Then fourth one is thinking AI detector work. So there is no foolproof way to identify AI created content. Detectors incorrectly categorize AI use, and research has shown that they penalize non-native English speakers. So many a times you might have seen that you are checking for some data for the AI content writing. Some research paper you are providing to Turnitin, and want answers that whether that is AI content is there or not. So many a times they may detect that there is AI content, right? So you have to check for that also. And the fifth one is the fifth mistake that educators make with AI is not being open to experimentation with AI. That means when you're using a Gen AI chatbot, you are able to create with technology like never before. Like you can create text, images, even codes also. The more open you are to experimenting and trying new things, the better your experience will become. Plus, these tools are evolving quickly. So many a times we are thinking that we should not use the GenAI tool for generating that code or something like that. So you should experiment with that, get the result, and always you can modify it according to your requirement. But you should be open to experimentation with AI, right? So after having all these feedback, all this, what we can say that prior homework before doing anything, let us see how we can use these generative AI tools so as to make our work easy. So being an educator, we have to do a lot of work. Like we have to create assessment, we have to perform the lesson planning, many a times we have to perform the communication also, and this can be used for students also, right? So if I'm saying assessment, so for assessment, we have to create the rubrics also, apply Bloom's taxonomy, and the last one, and that is important one, is generating the AI resistant assignment. What is happening nowadays, whatever is the assignment that we are giving to our students, they are getting it solved by some GenAI tools and submitting those assignments to us. So being an educator, we have to learn how to design AI resistant assignments so that we'll be able to register a student utilizing all these AI tools, right? In lesson planning, again, rubrics are to be created, Bloom's taxonomy. We have to define the unit or lesson objectives, and we may have to create the lesson plans. So for all these things, we will be able to utilize the prompt engineering or generative AI models by providing them the accurate prompt, right? So let us start with the first thing first. That means we want to create rubrics with an AI chatbot. So I am going to give you some example prompts that you can use directly for performing the prompting and getting the required result. Like here, this is the rubric prompt. So initially what I'll do, I'll define the role. Like if I'm a professor, I want my AI model to consider itself as an expert professor and curriculum designer who is skilled in developing assessment and evaluating student work. So we have defined the role. Now the task is to create what is the task? To create a rubric. For what? Here you have to fill your course name, then the topic name, and the assignment title and assignment description. And here we also have defined that format the rubric as a table and include a 5-point grading scale with clear criteria for evaluation. Right. So this is one example prompt that you can provide to your that you can give to your GenAI model so as to generate a rubric for your particular course, particular topic, and whatever is the assignment that you are going to give. Right. So let us take for an example. I am using the same prompt for the course, that is Introduction to Business. Here I have filled the name of the course as Introduction to Business. This course is focused on the topic that I have given over here is entrepreneurship and business planning. The students are completing a business plan proposal. This is the assignment title, and rest all is the description of the assignment. So this, from using this rubric prompt, I have created this prompt so as to give to my generative AI model so as to create the rubric, right? So what I am going to get, this is the response that I am going to get from my GenAI model, that is business plan proposal rubric. Assignment is to develop a startup idea, conduct market research, something like this. Here, this is criteria. And we have given that 5-point scale. So excellent, good, satisfactory, needs improvement, and poor. And here it has provided different criteria also. Like first one is business idea and innovation, market research and analytics. And what is, if I'm talking about business idea and innovation, what is considered to be the excellent, what is considered to be the good, satisfactory, needs improvement, or poor, right? Excuse me. So this is for business idea and innovation, market research and analysis. So it has taken the 5 points criteria here also and 5 points rubrics here. Five areas and 5 rubrics are used for generating the rubrics for this subject with this topic, right? So this is the result that I am going to get from my GenAI model. Coming next, another one is Bloom's taxonomy prompt. And Bloom's taxonomy, simply that what type of prompt you can use over here. This is the example. You are an expert professor, experienced in developing course syllabi, assessments, and learning activities. So this is the role. And task is to create a Bloom's taxonomy framework for, here you will give the course name, name of the topic, and number of activities for each level of Bloom's taxonomy. And here you have given the structure of the output also, that format your response as a bulleted text, right? So this is example. I have filled all these things like course name is machine learning, Bloom's taxonomy framework for the course name is AIML, and I want 3 activities for each levels of Bloom's taxonomy, right? And format the response as a bulleted list. So here, from using this prompt framework or the example prompt or library prompt, I have created the prompt for my subject, that is ML, and I want the Bloom's taxonomy framework for that. So what is the response that I am going to get over here? You can see that my generative AI model has generated created for all the 6 levels of the Bloom's, that is starting from remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. It has covered all the 6 levels of the Bloom's, and it has given the 3 tasks each, as I have given here, that I want 3 activities for each level of Bloom's taxonomy. So it has provided the 3 activities for each level of Bloom's taxonomy for my course, that was machine learning, right? So in understanding, it has used the define, list, or identify terms. In understanding, express, summarize, and describe. In applying, implement, train, perform, something like that. So the applying Bloom's taxonomy to our course was really a headache before these GenAI models came into existence, because we have to spend a lot of time in creating all these. But with the help of GenAI model and giving a simple prompt, as you can see that I have written some 7-8 lines only over here, and this much is the information that I have received. So it is making our life really very simpler as compared to the, as I can remember the previous days when we have to devote so much of time in doing all these things, right? So coming next, that is design an AI resistant assessment prompt. So as this again is a problem to us nowadays, that is AI resistant assessment, right? So if I want my student to really understand the topic, I want my student not to use the GenAI tool, so I have to create prompt like that, so that I'll be able to really assess that, right? So this is one prompt framework that I can give to my GenAI model. You are an experienced college professor with expertise in what blah 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 whatever we are telling about the role of that GenAI model, right? Now it has to create an AI-resistant assessment for the course name and the specific topic or standards, right? Now, after giving this, I am also going to define what exactly is AI-resistant assessment. So, AI-resistant assessment prioritize process over project, higher order thinking skills are required, critical analysis, problem solving, collaboration, and often incorporate oral, performance based, or real world application elements. Right? Then I'll further elaborate my prompt as start by identifying the essential knowledge and skills. First of all, I want to test that whether my students are having the essential knowledge and skills in them or not. Then whether they deeply understood the topic. Then after that, design an assessment that require students to actively engage with and apply the critical content. Ensuring that rote memorization of AI-generated responses alone will not suffice, right? So you have to provide opportunities for accommodations and modifications to non-essential aspects of the assignment, ensuring accessibility and equity. So here you can see that I have to write that much, or you can use this as the prompt library only with two fill in the blanks. First one is course name and second one is a specific topic or a standard. Directly you can cut and paste this prompt, fill in the blanks with these two and get the AI resistant assessment prompt. So here what I have done, I have given that this is for undergraduate students, then the name of the subject and the topic, supervised learning and model evaluation. Rest all is same, right? Subject name, audience name, and the topic name. And my model will be able to generate the response according to that. So let us see that how we'll be able to use it. So I'm simply copying it and paste it over here in my GPT model, right? And then I'm going to do it. You can see that my model is generating the response according to here it has specified that this is for UG. Topic focus is given over here. Essential knowledge skills and are given over here, right? So this is the assessment that is being designed by the ML. Part 1 is experimental designs. So here students will be given a set of real world data set and they have to do what? They must choose a data set and develop a research question requiring supervised learning for classification or regression. So problem definition, data exploration, hypothesis, evaluation plan, everything is mentioned over here. Then in part 2, hands-on model experimentation and analysis. So here again, it has given that what will be the size of the student group and what they are going to do. Then oral presentation, as we have told that oral also we require. So oral presentation also, it has given some topics for the discussion that can be utilized over here like this. So right, and it will give you the rubric also, how you are going to grade your students. So rubric also is given and it has defined that this is AI resistant. What exactly is AI resistant? How it is thinking itself to be AI resistance like this, right? So coming next. Okay. So this you can use AI resistant assessment prompt. Similarly, if you want to create a lesson plan, again, this is again one prompt from my prompt library. I used to create these prompts and used to fill in that subject, number, and specific topics, standards, everything, giving it to my GenAI model, and it is generating it. So don't think that you always have to write this much of prompt. Instead of that, you also can create library according to your specific requirement and can use it, right? So if I'm using this to create a lesson plan, the example prompt is again, in the name of subject, I have filled the machine learning. The task is to develop 3 lesson plans. I want 3 lesson plans for a unit. The unit that I'm covering over here is supervised learning. Duration of the lecture is 45 minutes and build on each other. So the focus of the lesson should be introduction to supervised learning algorithms, and third one is evaluation, bias, and interpretability in supervised learning. And here the target audience is UG students, those who are studying the machine learning subject, right? And here I have also defined that lesson should align with AI and data science curriculum standards and should include what is to be included over here is learning objective, list of vocabulary, lesson outline, everything was there in my library also. Whatever is a prompt library that I am using, everything was available. Only what I have done, I have filled up all these fillers and created my prompt, and my model is going to give me the result according to the prompt that I am going to give you. Let us take for an example this one. Here you can see that this is for undergraduate machine learning students, 3 lessons, each will be of 45 minutes as we have given the command in the prompt only. This is 45 minutes, 3 lectures, everything we have mentioned over here. Lesson 1 is Introduction to Supervised Learning. So here we have specified the learning objectives, key vocabulary, and then we have provided the lesson outline. That means introduction will be of 5 minutes, direct instructions will be of 15 minutes, activity like real world AI detective is of 15 minutes. This is our first lecture. Second lesson will be supervised learning algorithms, regression and classification models. So learning objective, key vocabulary, lecture outline, everything is being given over here. Then it will be providing. Here we have given the hands-on code demo also, so it is generating the codes also. Then lesson 3 will be evaluation, bias, and interpretability in supervised learning. So this will give you the outline and something like that. So with a single prompt, we are able to generate our entire lesson plan, right? So this is our lesson plan prompt. Another one is like we have to devote a lot of time in creating the PowerPoint. But with the help of AI chatbot, this too is becoming, you can devote a less amount of time for generating that. And the prompt that I am using for this from my prompt library is again this. Again, why I am saying again, initially, expert teacher, instructional designer, skilled in creating engaging educational content. Then all this information afterwards, the topic and the subject for which class, and then I'm giving the specification about the slides. That means slide should be formatted with a header and then set of bullets for each slide. Change the variety of each slide, including questions for students and activities. The last slide should include text for a formative assessment. Also include a description of an image that should be included on the slide. So this is the prompt that can be used for generating the PowerPoint. And this one is the example prompt. By simply filling up these two blanks. First one is grade and second one is topic. So here you can see that this is the topic and this is the class of the student for which we are going to create the PowerPoint presentation. So if you'll give this prompt to your GenAI model, you can see that it is generating the slide one, the title, overfitting and regularization, heading of this, then what are the bullets in these slides. Then if you want to insert some image, so it is giving you the idea of what type of image can be included here in this slide. Then second slide is for overfitting. Here also it is giving the heading for that, bullets and image that can be included over here. Then slide 3, slide 4, slide 5, slide 6, 7, 8, 9. For every slide, it is giving the response as per your requirement. Like here in slide 8, it has included the questions also that you can perform, whatever are the activities that you can offer for that, and everything is given over here, right? So this is how you will be able to generate a PowerPoint presentation. Here also, if you'll ask the GPT model to generate the PPT, it will be generating the PPT also. So you have to learn what exactly should be the effective prompt so as to utilize this. So this is how you'll be able to generate um, good PPT for your topic. And here you can see that you have utilized, you have written only 4 or 5 lines, and it has generated PPT of 10-12 slides, whatever is your requirements. And here, if you want to elaborate on certain slide also, so you can give the prompt for that also. Like let us say I want to elaborate slide number 6. So what your GenAI model will do, it will elaborate that particular slide also. So in this way, you'll be able to create a powerful presentation using only 4 or 5 lines of the prompt. Right. Next one is writing newsletters using AI chatbot. So many a times we may have to inform the students, parents about their monthly progress, weekly progress, whatever is being covered in the class, something like that. So for that also you can use GenAI models like expert educators, skilled market and here one thing I have included is skilled marketer, because if it has to write a newsletter, it should apply something like those managing people should use. And then your task is to write daily, weekly or monthly newsletter that I can send to the parents of my. Here you can specify the class of your students, include sections for each classroom subject, each day of the week, each week in the month for each subject. You can ask for writing a brief paragraph summarizing the main activities the student did for that subject, including any specific types of activities. And make the newsletter how many number of pages you require for that. And here you can also specify the tone of the newsletter also. So here you can fill what exactly is the desired tone. So let us see how we can use it for our course. So your task is to write weekly newsletter. But here this fill of the blanks we have filled with weekly. Here AI Data Science third semester students, include sections for each week in the month, and each week write a brief paragraph. Everything is there. It's what student has done for this week, whatever are the subjects that you have taken. If you are being a like class coordinator, you can include multiple subjects also, or if you are dealing with only a single subject, so whatever is being done in that subject can be included over here, right? So this is the size of the newsletter that you want, and here you have included the tone, that is, the tone should be engaging and informative. So if you include this, then let us see how my model will generate the response for this. So here you can see that this is the headline. You can specify the headline also, date, course, and your name can be included over here. Then this is towards the parents. Whatever you have done in week 1, whatever is being covered in week 2, whatever is being covered in week 3 and week 4. And what are your plans for the next month, right? So everything is being covered over here in this newsletter by giving a simple prompt of this much, right? So this is how you can use ChatGPT or generative AI model for creating the newsletter sites. So the sky is the limit. You have to explore, you have to create your own library for getting the tasks done by the GenAI. But the simple thing is that if you are following this, whatever was the 4S model, that you have to set the scene, specific, simplify your language, and structure the output. If you are following all these 4 points, you will be able to get majority of your work done by these GenAI models. So this is all from my side. And now if anyone is having any doubt, we can discuss over that.
Dear participants, if you have any questions, please ask. Dear participants. Okay, I request all the participants kindly switch on your cameras. All the participants, please kindly switch on your cameras, please. And if you have any questions also, you can ask Vibha ma'am.
Good evening, madam.
Yes, ma'am.
Madam, I actually don't have any question, but I really would like to thank you for changing our mindset totally for how we are going to use the Gen AI in future. Thanks a lot for the new
Thank you, ma'am.
way of thinking process. Thanks a lot.
Okay, Madhurya ma'am.
Thank you, Viva ma'am. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Vibha Tiwari ma'am for delivering such an engaging and insightful session on the art of prompt engineering, Transforming Teaching with AI. Your expertise and in-depth knowledge of AI, machine learning were evident throughout the talk, and it has truly been an enriching experience for all of us. We are deeply thankful for the time and effort you have dedicated to making this session so impactful. Your ability to simplify complex topics like how to create Rubik's with an AI chatbot, how to prompt for Bloom's taxonomy, and how to design AI resistant assessment prompt and creating slides with AI chatbot and connect them to practical applications in teaching has left us all inspired and more informed. It was an honor to have you with us, ma'am, and we look forward to more opportunities to learn from your expertise in the future. Once again, thank you so much, ma'am, for this wonderful session.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay,
Now
thank
I
you.
would like,
Yeah.
yes, ma'am, if participants has any queries, you can ask ma'am or you can post it in chat box. Seems like no one asks questions, ma'am. It seems like you have made them more interesting.
Yeah, actually, now whenever they are utilizing these Gen AI models na, for their purpose, at the time they may they will come across some difficulties, but it is like exploring only
Yeah.
and how to improve your prompt so as to get the better response, so that after getting the response, we have to work less.
Yes, ma'am. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Shanti Makka, ma'am, Professor in CSE and HOD of CSE Data Science, to elaborate on tomorrow's session.
Thank you, Madhurya ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Once again, thank you so much, ma'am, because you have accepted our invitation at the last moment. We are really like it is a great knowledgeable session and very engaging also. And thank you so much, ma'am, once again. Tomorrow we have Uma Desu sir, CEO of Intel India. And after the session from 7:30 to 7:45, we have a validity session also. And it will be after that followed by we are having an assessment by 8 p.m. So I thank all the wonderful participants for your patience listening, and I hope we are able to reach your expectations. Thank you so much. Good night. About the feedback link, now ma'am is going to post in all the WhatsApp group as well as in chat also. So I request all the participants kindly fill the feedback link within half an hour. Thank you so much.